You've probably seen the demos. AI agents booking flights, writing reports, managing entire workflows while the presenter sips coffee. Looks incredible. Then you try it yourself, and nothing works. Here's the thing, 2026 is different. The technology finally caught up to the promises. But knowing which tools actually work versus which ones are still demoware, that's where most people get stuck. Today we're cutting through the noise. Which platforms actually deliver for non-technical users, which workflows pay off in the first 30 days, and the mistakes that trip up almost everyone. Let me give you the headline. AI agent adoption grew 340% in 2025. The market hit $7.6 billion. That's not speculation, that's capital flowing into production systems. But here's what nobody tells you. Most of that growth came from companies who figured out one crucial thing: start small. Prove value fast, then expand. The companies that try to automate everything at once, they're still debugging. The playbook that works is counterintuitive. You don't need to code. You don't need a massive budget. You need one workflow that saves you real hours every single week. So what changed? For years, AI agents were basically party tricks. Impressive in controlled demos, frustrating the moment you tried to connect them to your actual calendar or CRM or database. The breakthrough came from something called MCP, the Model Context Protocol. Anthropic launched it in November 2024, and it's basically USB-C for AI. One standard connection that works with everything. Before MCP, connecting an AI agent to your tools meant custom code for every single integration. Now there are over 200 servers available, and the SDK downloads hit 97 million monthly. Here's a stat that tells you where the real adoption is happening. 92% of Claude Code users with MCP enabled activate the GitHub server first. Developers led the way, but the pattern is spreading. But most of you listening aren't developers. You don't want to install servers or write Python scripts. You want something that works out of the box. And until recently, those options were limited. That's where no-code platforms come in. And in 2026, two names dominate for a reason: Zapier and Make. They both evolved from simple automation tools into full agent building platforms. Zapier now connects over 8,000 apps. Make offers 3,000 plus connections with visual drag-and-drop building. Both let you create multi-step autonomous workflows without writing a single line of code. The industry consensus is clear. The distinction between AI agents that complete tasks and AI tools that assist with parts of tasks, that's the most important decision when building your automation stack. Think of it this way. An AI tool helps you write an email faster. An AI agent monitors your inbox, categorizes messages, drafts replies, and sends them all while you're doing something else entirely. So here's the first practical recommendation. If you're non-technical and want to build your first agent workflow, start with Zapier or Make. Both offer free tiers. You can have something working in under an hour. Now let's talk about what actually works in those first 30 days. Because here's the trap: people get excited, try to automate their entire business, and end up with a tangled mess that breaks constantly. The research points to specific workflows that deliver fastest ROI: email triage, meeting scheduling, and data entry. These are repetitive, rules-based, and happen frequently enough that automation saves real hours. Pick one. Seriously, just one. The most common mistake is trying to automate 5 things at once. Instead, pick your most annoying repetitive task and nail that first. Prove the concept, then expand. According to the Lindy review of best AI agents, the key evaluation criteria are reliable output without breaking, easy connections to existing tools, and ability to run complex tasks automatically. That reliability piece is crucial. Because the dirty secret of AI agents is that they still fail in unpredictable ways. They hallucinate. They misinterpret edge cases. They confidently do the wrong thing. Which brings me to the most important advice in this episode. Test any agent workflow manually for a full week before letting it run autonomously. Watch what it does. Catch the edge cases before they become problems. Let me give you a real example. Email triage sounds simple: sort incoming mail into categories. Flag urgent items, maybe draft some responses, but in practice, every edge case teaches you something. One user reported their email agent marked a client's contract renewal as spam because it contained pricing tables that looked like phishing attempts. That's a $12,000 mistake caught only by manual review. This is why the industry is having what TechCrunch called a shift from hype to pragmatism. The focus in 2026 isn't on what agents can theoretically do, it's on what they reliably do in production. The March 2026 industry conversation centers on harder questions: whether these systems perform reliably in production and whether the business models actually hold up under real-world pressure. There's genuine skepticism, and honestly, that skepticism is healthy. Some experts argue agents are too unpredictable for mission-critical workflows. Others point to specific use cases where agents already outperform humans. Customer service triage is the clearest success story. Agents that categorize incoming tickets, gather initial information, and route to the right specialist consistently beat human-only approaches on speed and accuracy. So if you're looking for a safe first agent deployment, customer-facing triage is a great option. The stakes are manageable, the feedback is immediate, and the improvements are measurable. Start there. Let's talk platforms. I mentioned Zapier and Make for no-code builders, but there's a broader ecosystem worth understanding depending on your needs and technical comfort. For developers and technical teams, platforms like LangChain, AutoGen, and Crew AI offer more control. For enterprise deployments, Microsoft Copilot Studio and Salesforce Agentforce integrate with existing corporate infrastructure. But here's my honest take. Unless you have specific enterprise requirements or developer resources, Zapier and Make will handle 90% of what most professionals need. Start simple. Now I want to address the elephant in the room: cost. These tools aren't free at scale, and understanding the pricing models matters before you commit. Most no-code platforms charge based on task volume or execution time. Zapier's free tier gives you 100 tasks per month. Make offers 100 ng free plan. Beyond that, expect $20 to $50 monthly for serious use. My recommendation? Start with free tiers to validate your workflow. Once you've proven the time savings, doing the math on paid plans becomes straightforward. An hour saved weekly is worth far more than $50 monthly. Let me share the mistakes I see most often. First-time agent builders fall into predictable traps, and knowing them in advance saves you weeks of frustration. Mistake 1. Over-engineering from day one. You don't need a 15-step workflow with conditional branches and error handling for your first automation. Build the minimum viable version. Add complexity only when needed. Mistake 2. No human checkpoint. Even the best agents need supervision initially. Build in a step where you review actions before they execute. Remove it later once you trust the system. Mistake 3. Ignoring error states. What happens when your agent can't complete a task? If you don't define that path, it fails silently. Always include a fallback that notifies you when something breaks. The good news is these platforms are getting better at preventing these mistakes. Built-in testing modes, simulation runs, and error handling templates are becoming standard features. MCP standardization is accelerating this improvement. With 200-plus servers available and consistent protocols, error handling becomes more predictable across different tools and platforms. If you use Quad specifically, explore the MCP ecosystem. Direct connections to GitHub, Google Calendar, Notion, and dozens of other tools are available. The setup takes about 15 minutes. Let me walk you through what a successful first month actually looks like. This is the pattern I've seen work repeatedly for non-technical users getting started with agents. Week 1. Identify your target workflow and build a basic version. Run it manually with agent assistance. You trigger each step, the agent executes. Count how much time it saves per occurrence. Week 2. Add error handling and edge case logic. Run the workflow semi-autonomously. It executes automatically but sends you a summary for approval before final actions. Watch for surprises. Week 3. Graduate to full autonomy for the tested workflow. Monitor results daily but don't intervene unless something breaks. Document any issues for future refinement. Week 4. Assess results and plan expansion. If the first workflow delivered real value, identify the next candidate. If it didn't, troubleshoot before moving on. Compound success, don't multiply problems. Users who follow this pattern report average time savings of 4 to 6 hours weekly within the first month. That's not theoretical, that's documented in platform case studies and user surveys. Now let's talk about what's coming next. The agent ecosystem is evolving rapidly, and understanding the trajectory helps you make better decisions today. March 2026 saw the first agentic commerce trials. AI agents making actual purchasing decisions within defined parameters. The implications for procurement and supply chain are significant. Personal agents are getting more sophisticated too. We're seeing early versions that manage not just individual tasks, but entire workflows across multiple life domains. Work, health, finance, social. My honest prediction? Within 18 months, most knowledge workers will have some form of agent automation in their daily workflow. The question isn't whether to adopt it, it's how soon you start building the skills. So here's your homework. This week, identify the one workflow that annoys you most. The thing you do repeatedly that feels like it should be automated, write it down. That's your starting point. Then sign up for Zapier or Make's free tier. Don't watch tutorials for hours, just try to build something. You'll learn more from 30 minutes of experimentation than 3 hours of passive learning. If this kind of practical breakdown is useful for you, hit subscribe. We cover tools that actually work, not hype, not demos every week. The AI landscape moves fast, and we help you keep up. Before we wrap up, let me give you the honest assessment of where agents are today. They're not magic. They still require setup, monitoring, and occasional intervention. But they've crossed a threshold. The threshold is this. For specific, well-defined workflows, AI agents now reliably deliver more value than they cost to set up and maintain. That wasn't consistently true even a year ago. 2026 is the year agents become practical, not perfect practical. The tools exist, the protocols are standardized, and the playbook is clear. Start small, prove value, then expand. The companies and individuals who figure out agent automation this year will have a meaningful advantage. Not because agents are magic, because they compound. Every hour automated is an hour you get back forever. That's it for today. I'm going back to tweaking my own email agent. Because yes, even after all this, mine still occasionally marks newsletters as urgent. The work never really stops. See you next time.